In the past week, there have been 17 arrests or convictions of adults accused of having sex with children. Of those 17, 14 were pastors or youth pastors at Christian churches. One was the husband of a youth pastor. One, a police officer. None were drag queens.
You're never going to hear that on mainstream or right-wing news. This is Kristen Brown, a trans New York lawyer who is using her platform on TikTok to share weekly updates on child sex crimes and how 0 of them are committed by drag queens or trans people. But do you notice a pattern in who is committing those crimes?
This week, 9 pastors or youth pastors, 1 Catholic Church official, 1 school librarian, and 1 Idaho state rep who raped a girl and is being sued by her, along with another state rep who helped out her. Atop that, Tennessee's lieutenant governor caught tweeting to a 20-year-old gay man.
I want to use this as an opportunity to explain why child sex crimes are so prevalent in this country. The Republican Party has embraced fundamentalist Christian family values for decades and has us looking at the wrong people on purpose. Drag queens and trans people are easy targets because men and women's clothes don't conform with gender roles, and trans people's identity is their gender. So because it doesn't comport with God's order of things, we have to assume people who break norms are reckless and sexually dangerous. It must always be on their minds to act sexual. And so while the spotlight's on them, the real people committing crimes against children get away with it. Because who's going to look at a straight man or a distinguished member of the community or a rich person and immediately think they could have sexual tendencies toward children? People like the Tennessee lieutenant governor, Boston's diocese, Speaker Dennis Hastert, Larry Nassar, Jeffrey Epstein, Roy Moore, Strom Thurmond, and many others get to hide their tendencies and actions because they are intrinsically trusted. Because in this country, being a man equals power, and power equals trustworthiness. And these men are presented access, or they solicit access to children. And even when we learn of their malfeasance, many of these men get the benefit of the doubt, or the well of godly forgiveness overfloweth, because we can't have traumatized kids spoiling the reputation of a major political party that prides itself on being morally superior. That's part of why Donald Trump was still popular enough to be voted for in 2016 and 2020. His history acting inappropriate around pageant contestants, his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, and his comments on how attracted he was to his young daughter were swept under the rug. The seeds of redemption are always there for predators and groomers in the GOP. I want more people to continue to spotlight who really is not thinking of the children. In the meantime, Kristen Brown is broadcasting the facts.
Week 4, and it's the big churches making news. Here are the numbers. We have 4 Christian pastors, 2 Catholic priests, 1 Mormon missionary, 1 church employee, and 3 teachers, 2 of them at private Christian academies. There's also 2 police officers and 1 doctor. Nobody trans. Nobody who is a drag queen.
And some others are doing great work too. At Muscles and Nursing on TikTok and The Daily Costs keep updated logs of right-wing public figures who get arrested for child sex crimes, with links to each story's local coverage. Some examples from last week's Daily Cost post: a MAGA leader, 5 youth pastors, a priest, 2 youth leaders, 3 Republican mayors, a deacon, a doctor, a track coach, a cop, a former sheriff's deputy, 2 Pentecostal church leaders, a right-wing radio host with over 880 counts of felony child porn who blames his wife, and there were more. The Republican Party doesn't want to cleanse itself of its disease, claiming moral superiority while covering up their own child abuse, basically having their cake and eating it too. It's the philosophy they follow that sustains them. I think anybody who's yelling the loudest about sexual crime and pointing fingers should be looked into. And children shouldn't have to live in a world where their security, their trust, their stability is taken away from them. Thanks for watching. I'm Leah Cover. Check out my other content on The Breakdown, and I'll see you in the next video.